From stories around the world to stories here at home, this is the National News Broadcast. A pleasant evening. I'm Dulanjali Ananda.
A very good evening. I'm Lakshitendra Singha, and to start off, we take a quick look at the headlines for tonight.
Travel restrictions from 11 p.m. today till 4 a.m. on the 17th. People over 60 years without any health complications to receive the Sinopharm vaccine. The overall inoculation program exceeds 1 million. The vaccination campaign continues. Chief prelates of the Trisect request the devotees to celebrate the Vesak festival at home while prioritizing Pratipatti Puja. Another 13 intermediate treatment centres under the Samata Samasipin project vested with the public. Delaying of the second dose of the COVID-19 vaccine is a successful solution to increase the immunity, an American study reveals. An operation commences to recover hidden fertilizer stocks.
For those and other stories in detail. An island-wide travel restriction will be imposed from 11 p.m. today until 4 a.m. Monday the 17th. Travel restrictions will be implemented on the 17th from 11 p.m. to 4 a.m. on daily basis until 31st of this month. Army Commander General Shavendra Silva said that except for those who are engaged in essential services, export and apparel sectors, and those who travel to obtain health services and flights, others will not be permitted to travel during restrictions imposed periods. He said that all should remain in their respective houses without engaging in unnecessary travels during these periods. He also said that a vaccination program in Western Province will continue without any hindrances during this period. He added that people can receive their vaccines if a relevant centre has been established in their respective Grama Niladhari division.
මධ්‍යස්ථානයක් පිහිටවලා ඔබට මේ වන විටත් කියලා තිබෙනවා නම් ඒ එන්නත් කරන්නට සහභාගී වෙන්න කියලා ඒට කිසිදු බාධාවක් නැහැ. ඔබට නිවසෙන් පිටතට පැමිණලා එන්නත් කරන මධ්‍යස්ථානය වෙත ගමන් කරලා එන්නත් ලබා ගැනීමට මේ අනුව කිසිදු අවසරයක් පිළිබඳ ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැහැ.
The police have indicated that no shops will be allowed to open during the travel restrictions imposed period. Meanwhile, the police has informed that wholesale trading in economic centres, Palagoda Fisheries Market and Manning Market will be allowed to engage in trading activities. Sri Lanka Railways Department has informed that no train services will be available from tomorrow until the 16th of this month. Sri Lanka Transport Board has said that buses will be deployed for essential services during the travel restriction imposed period. Chief Epidemiologist Dr. Sudat Samaravira pointed out the importance of the cooperation and the assistance of the general public to curb the further escalating of COVID-19 outbreak in the country. He made these remarks while speaking to media today.
Sometimes there may be higher number of cases in coming days, but in order to control this, as in similar to the government and the health sector taking the effort, the contribution from the general public also very essential. We don't know whether we are infected and asymptomatic. Because of that, if you are going into the society, if you mix with other people, if you are an infected person, you will spread the disease. As well as we don't know the person that you are meeting in the outside, whether he is infected or not. So because of that, whenever that you are going out, you should take maximum precaution in order to not to spread the disease. This is very important, and it is very essential to wear a face mask properly and also to maintain the distance at least 1 meter and also maintain the hand hygiene. The most important thing is that not to meet people, not to mix with other people as much as possible. Because of that, you should stay at home as much as possible. You should go out only for essential work, and you should come back to home as soon as possible and stay at home until this problem is under control. In order to facilitate this, the government has imposed travel restrictions during the night, and also during the daytime there is a limitation that who can come into the society and come to the outer environment, that who can travel outside the home depending on their identity card number. And also we are that experience that we are having a long weekend from Friday onwards, so there is a travel restriction during that period. This is to prevent the spread of the disease. Then we expect that the people will contribute and they will adhere to these restrictions very carefully and help the government and the health sector to control this disease during this period. In order to control this disease, the government is now that has rolled out COVID-19 immunization program, and we are having three kinds of vaccines in our country. The first one is the Covishield, and also the Sinopharm, the vaccine that is been that we received as a donation from the government of China. In addition to that, we bought the Sputnik vaccine from where manufactured in the Russia. We received only 15,000 doses at the first consignment, and we expect that more consignments will be coming into the country in coming days. That is both Sputnik and Sinopharm, that we expect that we will receive more and more vaccines. Then we will be rolling out this vaccination program, initially covering the western province and then targeting the other provinces in the country. And our intention is, our objective and our target is to vaccinate almost all the people who are eligible for this COVID-19 infection in our country, and to protect those people and to protect the whole population, whole country in general.
The heated humidified oxygen therapy unit manufactured by Sri Lanka Air Force for the benefit of the patients with respiratory difficulties was officially handed over to President Gotabaya Rajapaksa at the Presidential Secretariat yesterday. In order to face the imminent shortage of ventilators in the country in the face of the COVID-19 global pandemic, the heated humidified oxygen therapy unit was innovated with the contribution of Professor Ranil De Silva, Dr. Tilanka Ratnapala and a team of medical experts as per the instructions of President Gotabaya Rajapaksa and as a concept of Vidyajyoti Dr. Bandula Vijay, who is a renowned ambassador in the international innovation arena. The device is capable of delivering temperature-controlled oxygen with full humidity at high capacity to patients with respiratory complications. The maintenance unit of the Sri Lanka Air Force Engineering Corps manufactured the unit under the guidance of Air Force Commander Air Marshal Sudarshana Patirana and supervision of Group Captain Prasanna Martino. After inspecting the limitations, safety features and performance standards, the unit was presented to the National Medicines Regulatory Authority of Sri Lanka, and the University of Moratuwa has confirmed compliance with the electrical safety standards. Although it has been earlier estimated that a cost of 1.5 million rupees would be spent to manufacture the unit, it has been completed at a lower cost of 300,000 rupees. At present, 50 kits are planned for production and will continue to be manufactured as required by the health sector. The functionality of the device was demonstrated to the President during the meeting with the President. Minister of Health Pavitra Vanyarachi, Defence Secretary Retired General Kamal Gunaratna, Secretary of Health Sanjeeva Munasinghe and Commander of the Air Force Air Marshal Sudarshana Patirana were also present. 13 COVID-19 intermediate treatment centres constructed in several hospitals island-wide by the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna under the theme Samata Samasithin were handed over to the health authorities today. The project was implemented according to a concept of founder of the party, Basil Rajapaksa. A 50-bed COVID-19 intermediate treatment centre at the Nittambua Watupitawila Base Hospital was declared open yesterday with the participation of Minister Prasanna Ranatunga. The staff of the Watupitiwala Base Hospital are expected to provide services for the centre. MP Sahan Pradeep and Upul Mahindra Rajapaksa were present at this occasion. Another 50-bed COVID-19 intermediate treatment centre built at the Ambalanguda Divisional Hospital was declared open today. Minister Ramesh Patirana presided over the event. MP Isuru Dodanguda was also present at this occasion. The newly constructed ward, which consists of 50 beds at the Mathara Kotavila District Hospital, was declared open today. The event was held with the participation of State Minister Kanchana Wijesekara and MP Nipuna Ranawaka. The intermediate COVID-19 treatment centre constructed at the Kaluthura District General Hospital was declared open today with the participation of Minister Rohitha Abegunawardena. The newly built centre is consisted of facilities to provide treatment for 50 patients. Director of Kaluthura District General Hospital, Dr. Thamara Kalubovila, was also present at this occasion.
Several COVID-19 intermediate treatment centres built with the assistance from Sri Lanka Army in Colombo district to provide treatments for COVID-19 infected persons were handed over to health authorities today. The handing over ceremony was held with the participation of Minister Nama Rajapaksa. The hostel of the University of Vocational Technology in Ratmalana has been developed into a COVID-19 intermediate treatment centre. Accordingly, the newly built COVID-19 intermediate treatment centre can accommodate up to 200 patients. Minister Nama Rajapaksa officially handed it over to Ratmalana Medical Health Officer Jalat Gunatilaka at the university premises. MP Major Pradeep Undugoda was also present at this occasion. National Institute for Special and Inclusive Education in Venivakola area in Kahatudua is expected to be developed into a COVID-19 intermediate treatment centre. Minister Namma Rajapaksa engaged in an observational tour in the premises today. Accordingly, the institute will be developed into a treatment centre to provide treatments for 160 patients within a period of 1 week. Minister Dr. Bandula Gunawardena also was present on this occasion. Meegoda Educational Development Centre will be maintained as a COVID-19 intermediate treatment centre from today. Ministers Dr. Bandula Gunawardena and Namma Rajapaksa were present at this occasion. The Human Resources Centre in Avisavela will be maintained as a COVID-19 intermediate treatment centre from today. The newly converted centre will accommodate up to 80 patients. Minister Namma Rajapaksa officially handed over the centre to health authorities.
Now taking a look at the situation in Sri Lanka, State Minister Dr. Sudarshani Fernandopulle says that a decision has been reached to administer the Sinopharm vaccine for people over 60 years and without any health complications. She said that this decision was reached during a meeting of the Task Force of COVID-19 which was held today. Meanwhile, more than 1 million persons have received the first dose in the country under the COVID-19 immunization program. A total of 92,927 first and second doses of the COVID-19 vaccine have been administered yesterday. 79,403 persons have received the first dose of the Sinopharm vaccine yesterday. Accordingly, 150,606 persons have received the first dose of the Sinopharm vaccine thus far. Meanwhile, a total of 3,335 persons have received the first dose of the Sputnik vaccine yesterday. Accordingly, 14,673 persons have been administered with the vaccine so far. Also, 10,189 persons have received the second dose of the Covishield vaccine yesterday. Accordingly, 231,577 persons have received the second dose of the vaccine thus far. Meanwhile, a total of 1,075 COVID-19 patients were detected today. 1,145 fully recovered patients have left the hospitals today. Accordingly, the total recoveries in the country has increased up to 108,802. A total of 24,932 COVID-19 patients are still receiving treatments in hospitals. In the meantime, 2 women and 2 children who had arrived from India on fishing boats and stayed in a house in Gurunagar area in Jaffna have been directed to house quarantine after taking into police custody. Samples have been obtained from them for PCR tests today. Meanwhile, a total of 18 COVID-19 related deaths were reported yesterday. Some deaths were reported from Vanduraba, Imaduwa, Valasmulla, Matugama, Malsiripura, Kurunagala and Alawa, Morontuduwa, Omalpe, Ambilipitiya and Haldanduwana areas. COVID-19 deaths have also been reported from Kandagidara, Passara, Kalambaphai, Vauniava, Thalgaswala and Beruwala areas. A COVID-19 treatment centre has been established at the Technical College in Matale. A total of 300 patients will be able to receive treatment from the centre. The new treatment centre has been built with the assistance from Sri Lanka Army. Modernizing of the Kantale Base Hospital for the treatment of COVID-19 patients is underway at present. Accordingly, MP Kapilanuwan Athukorala engaged in an observational tour at the hospital today. The hospital, equipped with 250 beds, will be declared open on Monday. 3 beds specially made for the Special Maternity Unit and ICU of Colombo East Base Hospital was donated yesterday. It was held with the participation of Commander of Sri Lanka Navy Vice Admiral Nishantha Ulugethanna. Meanwhile, State Ministers Sudarshani Fernandopulle and Sisira Jayakodi engaged in an observational tour at the Navina Ayurvedic Hospital today. COVID-19 patients are expected to be admitted into this hospital from next week onwards. Issuing a statement, the Immigration and Immigration Department said that the main office of the department in Battaramulla will be opened for the issuance of passports in case of an emergency. Public can visit the divisional branches of the department while adhering to imposed travel restrictions. The regional offices in Kandy, Vaunia, Matara and Kurunagala will remain open for the public to obtain essential services. Accordingly, visas of all categories granted for foreign tourists who are already in the country have been extended by 60 days in effect from the 11th of May until the 9th of July 2021. Only the visa fee will be applicable for the visas that expire during this period without any other penalties. In the meantime, chief prelates of the tri-sects have requested the devotees to limit their religious observances related to this year's Vesak festival while prioritizing Pratipatti Puja due to the prevailing COVID-19 outbreak in the country. They have emphasized that the program prepared by the Ministry of Buddha Sasana for the Vesak festival was compiled under their guidance and requested the devotees to adhere to the program accordingly. According to the statement issued by the chief prelates of the tri-sects, various religious programs which would prompt public gatherings in and out of temple premises should not be organized. The statement has indicated that the devotees can contemplate and reflect on four sublime states, Metta, Karuna, Mudita and Upeksha, while remaining in their homes. The chief prelates have requested the devotees to adhere to health guidelines while engaging in religious observances. With the blessings of the Ratana Sutra, Mahasangha has invoked blessings on those who are affected by the COVID-19 pandemic across the world. The relevant statement has been signed by Chief Prelate of Malvatta Chapter, Most Venerable Tibbatuave Sri Sumangala Thera, Chief Prelate of Asgiriya Chapter, Most Venerable Varakagoda Jnanaratana Thera, Acting Chief Prelate of Amarapura Sect, Most Venerable Gantune Asaji Thera, and Chief Prelate of Sri Lanka Ramanya Sect, Most Venerable Makulave Vimala Thera. Meanwhile, the state Vesak festival and Poe Day program scheduled to be held centering Nagadipa temple in Jaffna have been cancelled considering the COVID-19 outbreak. Accordingly, a short program symbolizing the Vesak festival will be held at Hunupitiya Gangarama temple on the 24th of May.
Operations are underway to detect business places which have hidden fertilizer stocks. According to the Consumer Affairs Authority, several raids were conducted yesterday following investigations conducted on the complaints received from the public. Accordingly, a fertilizer stock was detected yesterday while being hidden away in a sales outlet for agri-products in Kiribanvava area in Sevanagala. The relevant raid was carried out based on a tip-off regarding the illegal activity. The Consumer Affairs Authority ordered the outlet owner to sell the fertilizer stocks for the existing market prices. Also, the Consumer Affairs Authority conducted another raid on an outlet in Ragala area for selling fertilizer at a higher price while concealing fertilizer stocks. Accordingly, 1,200 fertilizer bundles were recovered during the raid. It has been revealed that a 50-kilogram fertilizer bundle had been sold at a price rate of 2,700 rupees. The outlet owner expected to be produced before the Walapani magistrate.
Organized criminal known as Kosgoda Taraka was shot dead in Mirigama area this morning. The suspect, who was in the custody of Paliagoda police, was taken to Kosgoda area by the police officers today with the objective to recover the firearms hidden away by him. Subsequently, a tussle had occurred between a police officer and the suspect after arriving to Mirigama area to inspect a place where the suspect had allegedly hidden a sniper gun. During the tussle, the firearm of the police officer had been fired while injuring both the police officer and the suspect. The suspect had succumbed to the injuries while the injured police officer had been admitted to Vatupitivala Hospital. The police had been able to apprehend 4 magazines, 4 T-56 firearms and 58 ammunitions from the places pointed out by the suspect.
The government has taken steps to pay a monthly allowance of 2,500 rupees for preschool teachers. Accordingly, the registered teachers will receive the relevant allowances from the 1st of next month. Secretary to the President P.B. Jayasundara has issued instructions to the Secretary of Ministry of Finances S.R. Artigala to provide the relevant provisions for the payment of allowances to the State Ministry of Women and Child Development, Preschool and Primary Education, School Infrastructure and Education Services.
And that's all the stories for tonight. We'll see you tomorrow at the very same time. Good night.
Good night.